Okay guys, we're gonna get started in child's pose tonight. You can also take embryo if you want, which I will show you as well. But knees out wide, about the width of your mat, toe tips to touch. And then you'll just crawl yourself down so that your chest or your forehead can meet the mat. So if that's not accessible to you, you can always take a block or a pillow and place it underneath your forehead or your chest. If you would like to do embryo pose, you just bring your knees in together and then you'll place your forehead down and then your arms will just extend behind your back there. So again, this is your class, so you can get started in any posture that feels good to you, but just get settled in. And with your child's pose, keep your forearms flat on the mat. Sometimes in vinyasa, you'll want more of an active pose where you'll crawl your fingertips out forward. But for restorative, we're just gonna leave them parallel on the mat. Just start to settle in, sit your sit bones back towards your heels as much as you can. Take a deep breath in. And a full open mouth, sigh out. Just let something go. And start to roll your shoulders down your back. Soften the muscles in your face. You might have some tension from earlier today. And just let those things go as you settle in here. I will always remind you to utilize your breath in each posture. And if you can start tuning into your breath and bring some awareness there. Sometimes you may want to count your breath. So on the inhale, you'll count to see how many numbers you can get to on your inhale. And then on your exhale, you'll do the same thing to see if the numbers are even, and then if you can also extend them by a number or two. So if you're breathing in, perhaps you may only get to a 3 or a 4. See if you can lengthen that to a 5 or a 6 count. And then whatever number you land on, try to make your exhales just as long so that you can breathe in some really good air, expand your belly as wide as you can. And then releasing all the air out. Bring your belly button into your navel and just tie it back to your spine as much as you can. So just imagine that you're releasing all the air that you have available to you. And just start to slow down your breathing and bring some awareness there. It's already Wednesday. A lot may have happened in your week already. So just take this next 60 minutes to be present on your mat, to let whatever happened already this week or today go. And just spend this time on yourself. We're halfway through this posture, so if you need to make any adjustments, you can do that. If you need to sink your glutes down towards your heels, you can start to do that as well. If you're cozy where you're at, try to stay as still as you can. It's really hard in our restorative practice to practice that stillness, because so often we have to move so much. So just enjoy this resting practice and tune inward. If your mind has already started to wander, can you just bring your attention and awareness back to your mat, back to your breath? Sink down just a little bit further. Slowly, on your next inhale, start to make your way to a tabletop position. So just stack your hips over your knees and your shoulders over your wrists. Plant your left palm firmly into the mat. Inhale, raise your right palm up to the sky. And then start to transition to bring your palm up towards the sky for thread the needle. So you'll just bring your palm up, bring your arm over towards the left side of your mat. And you'll want to bring your forehead down to something. So if you can bring your head down to the mat, you may need a pillow underneath your head. And pay attention to how your hips are aligned right now. Your left hip is likely a little bit higher than your right. So just see if you can shift your weight evenly to be able to even them back out. And you can also, if this is not quite the posture you want and you want something a little bit more relaxed, you can come back to child's pose legs instead of being a tabletop and then take this. So it's really up to you on comfort level. We'll be holding this for a couple minutes. So if tabletop is, again, a little uncomfortable, you can come back to child's pose legs. And what you do with your right hand is up to you. You can leave it towards your face or you can extend it towards the top of your mat. So it's really, again, just getting into that shoulder on the right side, allowing some opening there. We do so much sitting all day, and especially if you're on your computer or your phone a lot, you need some kind of shoulder opener to allow that opening in your chest and your heart space to undo some of that. So this is a really great pose to get you into that mode. So just really start to bring your awareness back to your breath again. You may feel some tightness in your shoulder, and as we hold this pose, you should be able to open up just a little bit further. So just send some breath to your shoulder area if it's a little tight right now. If your eyes are not closed already, just softly close your eyes. Sink in further towards your mat. Just really allow yourself to rest here. So often we're racing around and don't take the time that we need to really open up. This is a really great opportunity to do that. We're halfway through this side already. So if you do need to make any kind of adjustments, if you're not feeling the sensation in your shoulder anymore, you can always start to crawl your left hand fingertips more towards the top of your mat and then lean more onto that right shoulder just to get into it a little bit more. But again, if you're posing where you're at, you're feeling that opening happening, just stay there. The stiller that you can be in this practice, the better, just to really allow the connective tissue to start to open. Are you paying attention to your breath, or have you already lost track of that? And if you have, no judgment, just bring your awareness back to that. Really use your breath to help you slow down. We often shallow breathe throughout the day, especially when you're stressed out. Your breath will really stay in your chest area instead of going to your belly. And we often forget that we need to expand out our belly to really allow a full breath in. So just pay attention to that. See if you're allowing full capacity for fresh air to come into your body. And throughout your day, when you're not on your yoga mat, can you touch down, connect with your breathing, just even for a few moments? It really helps reset your day. And if you've been especially stressed out, it just really helps to ground you and to bring some attention and awareness back to your body instead of being in your own head about things. Final few breaths here, taking in what you still need, letting go what you don't. When you're ready to start to slowly make your way out, you may want to take some arm circles in one direction and then in the other, just to awaken that shoulder and that side of your body. You take any movement that feels good to you. If you're craving stillness, that's fine too. And when you're ready, we're just gonna switch that out to the other side. So if you came back to child's pose legs, you can sink down and then thread your needle. And if you want to stay in that more active tabletop position, just ground into your left palm, raise your right hand up to the sky, and then flip your palm facing the sky and spread it through towards the right side of your mat. Again, bring the left side of your face down to your mat or to a pillow if you can't reach your mat. And then you can extend your right arm towards the top of the mat if you need more of a stretch in that left shoulder. And if you haven't already, close your eyes when you find a comfortable position on this side. And each side is going to feel different. So depending on if you're a righty or a lefty, you may have more tension in one side of your body versus the other. So just pay attention to that too. And if this side's a little bit less accessible, if you can't get as deep into it, or it's just a little bit more tense, just see if you can really breathe in and relax into it a little bit more. The other side might have been more difficult for you, so this might be a blessing that it's not as challenging, but just really relax as much as you can, send breath to any tense parts of your body, and see where you can start to really relax your face, any muscles in your face, your jaw, if you're holding on to tension there, perhaps you're furrowing your eyebrows. Just see where you can let something go and open up a little further. We're already halfway through this side. So again, if you need to make any adjustments, you can. Pay attention to your hips, and if your right hip is slightly above your left, can you ground them so that they're in line as much as possible with each other? And you may want to just roll a little bit more weight onto your shoulder just to allow for a little bit more opening. If that is something that you're looking for. Again, tune into your breath. Have you already forgotten to pay attention to that? If so, it's okay. Just bring some mindfulness back to that. See where you can expand your breathing. About 30 more seconds here, so just taking in any final things that you need from this pose. And when you're ready, slowly start to make your way out of this side. Perhaps you take some arm circles again in one direction and then in the other, just bringing some movement back to this side. And when you're ready, we'll come down to our seat. And this is where you're gonna want some kind of props. So if you've got a couple blocks, books, pillows, all of the above, you might need all of those things. Bring your legs out to a wide V. And you may need to place one hand in front of your body, one hand in back, and just lift up off of your seat and then scooch forward just a little bit, just to get as wide as you can in this posture. And then you'll want your props to stack up in the center, because we're going to take a wide-legged forward fold, and you'll want your forehead to land on something, because your low back, you don't want all the pressure on that. So you may need to play around with the height of your props a little bit to find the right height for you. But when you're ready, inhale, lift your arms up, your gaze up. Exhale, reach towards the front of your space as much as you can. And then when you feel your spine start to round, that's when you'll drop your forehead to your props. So you may need to play around with the height of things a little bit and adjust it. And you may find that as you're holding this for the next several minutes, when I call halfway through, you might be able to lower the height of your props because you have opened up your low back so much. If you haven't and you can't adjust anything, that's totally okay too. So no pressure to adjust anything. But really, when you can settle in here, just to really let your head hang heavy and adjust accordingly. So if you need extra pillows or props, don't be afraid to grab those. Again, this is your class. So if a wide-legged forward fold is you're not feeling it, you can always bring your legs together to a normal seated forward fold. But again, this is your time. So find a shape that you can hold. And once you're there, just really close your eyes, tune in your body. You might feel some tension in your low back, especially if you've got some tight hamstrings. So just see where you can let go of where you think you should be and just accept where you're at right now. And this may look different than the last time that you did a forward fold. So even if you practice yoga regularly and you may be used to getting down to a certain level or height on a prop, just let that go. This is a new day, and you might find that you're extra tense or maybe you're extra open and you have more flexibility, but just meet yourself where you're at. And we're halfway through. So if you have experienced a lot of opening already and can play around with the height of your props, you can certainly try to lower them. If you're happy where you're at, or you're still feeling like you need some more assistance, please grab extra props if you need. But really use your breath, and on the exhale, see if you can lengthen and deepen your stretch just a little bit more towards the ground. So can you just imagine that your chest is just inching a little bit further towards the earth? And this is just a really great posture to help you lengthen your inhalations and your exhalations, and use your breath to focus your awareness. We have about 30 more seconds in this pose, so just again, releasing things that you don't need anymore. Forward folds are so great to have a reset for our central nervous system. So if you've been especially anxious lately, they're a really good way to reset that. Just enjoy a few extra breaths here before we move on. And when you're ready, very slowly start to make your way back out. Just crawl your fingertips back towards your body. Remove any props from in between your legs. And then bring your hands behind your back, bend your knees, and just windshield wiper your legs from one side to the other, just to really help loosen up your low back. Doing a lot of opening there. So take a few extra moments here to release that. And when you're ready, we're just going to come all the way down to our backs. Plant your left foot into the earth, and then bring your right foot up to hang your ankle over your left knee. So we'll take supine pigeon here if you're familiar with that posture. You can stay right here if this is, if you feel a stretch in your right IT band, right hip area. If you need more, you can start to use your right palm to nudge your right knee away from you. And this might be where you want to hang out. But if you need even a little bit more than that, you can lift your left leg up to a 90-degree angle. And you can there's a couple different things you can do here. You can either wrap your hands around to interlace your fingers behind your left thigh and just hold there. You can also use your right elbow to nudge your right knee away to really get into that right hip flexor and hip area. So wherever you're at right now, just pay attention to that. Find where you need to go. And I'll let you know when we're halfway through, so that if you want to try a deeper expression, you can adjust and do that. And again, if you just want to keep your left foot on the earth and just nudge your knee away with your palm, that's totally fine too. So you find where you can get a good hip flex. Some of you If you are really flexible in your hips and this is just you're not feeling it here, you can always go into full sleeping swan or half pigeon, the traditional one, if you'd like. So again, your class, you decide what you need. But this is just a really great hip opener. We tend to store a lot of stress and tension in our hip area. So one side is definitely going to be more problematic or tight for you than the other. And sometimes hip openers bring up a bunch of different emotions just because we are opening and releasing something. So as you're practicing tonight in this posture, just pay attention to what comes up for you. See where you can continue to just allow and let things go. We're already more than halfway through the side. So if you'd like to make any adjustments or nudge your right knee away from you a little bit more, please take that. Again, if you're feeling the stretch in your hip flexor, in your right hip, stay where you're at, just finding where you need to be. Just tune back into your breath. And always place your left palm on your belly just to pay attention to your breathing. And if you are allowing your belly to expand on your inhales, it's a really great way to slow things down as well. So just start to really tune into your breath if you haven't done that at the beginning of practice. If your left foot is off of the mat, just start to anchor that back down. And we're gonna take a twist over to the left. So you have a couple options. You can keep your legs exactly where they're at if you're on your back, if you took this variation of pigeon, and you have your right ankle draped over your left knee, you can leave your feet in this position. You'll just tee out your arms and then just slowly start to twist open to the left side where your right foot will come down to the mat. This is going to be a very intense stretch. So some of you may want to release your right leg off and just stack your knees and your legs on top of each other towards the left side of your mat. You may want to put a block or a pillow in between your knees or underneath your left knee just to bring the ground a little bit closer to your knees there. And then your shoulder blades should both be grounded onto the mat. So you, again, might need to come out of that twist a little bit to allow that to happen. Your arms should be teed out to the side and you can just roll your shoulders on your back if you haven't done that yet. And then when you have a good position with your low body, just start to take your gaze over to your left fingertips so that you have a full spinal twist, and then gently close your eyes when you get settled in. And I'll let you know again that we're halfway through, so if you want to take a deeper variation in the twist, you can. But just really focus on your breath here. Twists are so good for bringing out and releasing, and gives our body a chance to massage internal organs that we typically don't do anything with throughout the day. So since we're holding this for longer than our typical vinyasa class, you just really have an opportunity to release and let go. So you might feel a lot of tension on your right hip as you're opening up, but just try to relax and soften into it as much as you can. We're halfway through, so if you need to make any adjustments, please take them now. And if you abandoned your supine pigeon legs and you want to give it a try now that you've opened up a little bit more, you can just drape your right ankle over your left knee, get back into that twist to see if you can try that out on this side. Especially if you don't have any sensation in your hip area, it might be a good opportunity to get another hip opener in as well. Your mind has wandered, just bring it back to your body. Just pay attention to what you're doing right now, the mat underneath your body. Can you just feel the different sensations around you? Pay attention to opening in your hip and the twisting that you're doing with your upper body. Listening to the music and the sound of my voice. Just again to touch down and connect with what you're doing right now. A few more rounds of breath here before we come out of this. Just taking one last opportunity to let something go. So take a deep breath in. And a big open mouth, sigh out, let something go. Slowly on your next inhale, make your way out, come back to your back. Before we switch it out to supine pigeon on the other side, you might just want to gently rock from side to side to loosen up your low back, just allowing some opening there. And when you're ready, we'll take supine pigeon on the other side. If you wanted to take the full expression, you can go to your belly at this point. But you'll plant your right foot into the ground, and you'll drape your left ankle over your right knee. And again, this might be enough for you on this side. You might want to just nudge your left knee away with your left fingertips. And this might be enough for you for right now, just as we get into it. If you want, you can always lift your right foot off of the ground to come into a 90-degree angle. And there you can interlace your fingers behind your right thigh and then use your left elbow to nudge your left knee away from you. And the more that you flex your right foot and push your right knee into your your left ankle, this really is a countermeasure to bring some more opening into your hip. So you can make this as active as you want. It's really your choice for your class and your hip opener. But wherever you're at, just settle in. Try to release any tension that you might be holding onto in your face, especially if this is your harder side. You might be clenching onto your jaw or really furrowing up your eyebrows or just having a lot of tension in your forehead in general. So just see where you can relax your face muscles and soften everywhere that you can, really. So your upper back, if you're holding on to tension, just to even use your hand to nudge your knee away. See where you can roll your shoulders on your back to allow for some opening in the upper body as well. We're already halfway through, so make any adjustments. If you can get in deeper than you started, you can take it to the next level. If you're happy where you're at, stay where you are. And again, this side is going to feel different, so just tune into that. Allow for whatever is coming up for you, just allow it to be there. Restorative can be so tough because you might be laying here thinking, how am I doing anything really? Because I've just been sitting or laying this entire time and relaxing. But this practice takes so much more patience and openness than, just rushing through vinyasa. And you're doing so much for yourself right now just by allowing that opening and that rest to happen. And it's such a hard practice because you often have to sit here with your thoughts as you're really allowing your body to relax enough to open up. So it is such a really tough practice mentally. Just be mindful of that as you're sitting here and what thoughts or emotions that come up for you. And just know that you're doing so much good for yourself by allowing your body to really rest, restore, and lengthen through all this opening. And when you're ready, on your time, make your way to a twist towards the right side of the room. So you'll tee out your arms, you decide how you want your legs, if you want to keep it in this supine pigeon shape, or if you would like to just do a traditional twist. But you'll just start to nudge your knees towards the right side of the mat in whatever shape that feels good to you. Just be mindful that your shoulder blades should both still be grounded on the mat. So if your left shoulder is not all the way fully on the mat, see if you can come off of your twist in the low body just a little bit to allow them to both be on the mat. And then once you've found a good shape, you'll take your gaze over towards your left palm. And then slowly close your eyes just to allow yourself to fully rest here. And I know it sounds silly when you're in such an uncomfortable shape in the beginning because your hip might be screaming at you, you might be feeling the twist a lot, but just really try to relax as much as you can and send breath in any tense areas of your body. We're halfway through this side. Make any adjustments that you need. You may have a smile on your face knowing that we're almost done with this posture. Twists are just so great for rinsing out, for letting go, and they help aid digestion and just have a ton of benefits of releasing toxins in the body and letting things go that we no longer need to hold on to. So just as you're laying here, just imagine that anything that has been bothering you lately or has been on your mind that you'd rather not spend energy on, just picture it leaving your space as you're twisting out, and through every inhalation and exhalation, so on every exhale, just see if you can twist open just a little bit more, and just as you're doing that, visualize something leaving that you no longer need to carry around with you, and how much lighter you're going to feel by not having to focus or spend energy on that stuff anymore because you don't need it. So see where you can just let things go, something that's out of your control that you may have been just obsessing over in one way or another, or just something that happened or you think might happen or you're worried about, just let those things leave. It really helps open you up to the good things that you can make room for when you release that kind of energy. We have about 30 more seconds, so just, again, relax in, take in what you still need and let go of what you don't. On your next inhale, just slowly make your way back up to center. Release your legs and just sway from side to side again, just to loosen up your low back. And when you're ready, we'll come to supine butterfly or Supta Konasana if you're familiar with vinyasa practice. The soles of your feet will touch, your knees will come out wide. And this is another one that you may want props underneath your knees. So if you have 2 pillows or 2 blocks near you, you can place them underneath your knees just to help bring the ground a little bit closer to your knees, just to allow some gentle opening in the front side of your body. And then if you could place your hands on your belly, just to, again, start to really bring awareness back to your breath. So see if, while you're laying here, if you can start to count on the inhale. So you'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. So you'll just take a couple rounds of that on your own. Perhaps you expand it out to a 5 or a 6 count, just depending on your breath. But that box breathing technique just really helps you tune into your breathing and helps calm and reset everything. So if you ever just need something during your day to help ground you and connect you back down to what you're doing, you can always count out your inhales and your exhales and hold either at the top or the bottom to really elongate your breathing. And while your hands are resting on your belly, are you even noticing that when you inhale, is it rising at all, or is it all happening up in your chest? So again, just bring some attention there. Start to really lengthen out your inhales and your exhales. Also helps you shift into that resting mode when you do that. So where can you continue to soften? We're halfway through already, so if you need to make any wiggles or adjustments with your props, you can do that now. You should feel a great opening in the low back. This is really good to open up the front side of your body as well. Close your eyes if you haven't already and just really focus your awareness on the shape that you're making with your body and the opening that is happening. On your next inhale, slowly close your legs back together. This is one where you'll probably want to grab onto your knees and just rock from side to side to loosen up the low back. And then whatever prop that you have available to you, so if you do have a yoga block or a pillow, grab onto that. And when you have that handy, you'll ground both feet into the earth and then just slightly elevate your hips up just to place the prop underneath your low back. So the sacrum area of your low back, and you might need to adjust your prop a little bit to get into a comfortable shape. But this is just to have an elevated supported bridge so that you don't have to do any of the work. You should be able to lift your legs straight off of the ground if you want to make sure that your prop is in the right position. But this is just a brief stop here to really just allow our heart a little bit of a break. When our head is below our heart, we don't have to work as hard to pump blood and energy into our brains. And so just a nice relaxing reset. So just see where you can close your eyes. And again, you might want to bring your hands to your belly just to pay attention to your breath, or perhaps you place them on the ground just to have that sense of grounding. Some of you may want to stay in supported bridge for our final resting shape. It's a really good one to help you wind down before bed, but if this is too intense for you or you just would like to come to traditional Shavasana, you're more than welcome to remove the prop, and then you'll find a cozy shape that works for you. You might want to extend your legs out to a wide V, and then my recommendation is to place your palms facing down for some grounding, or again, you can put them back on your belly to just really pay attention to your breath. If you have a wall nearby and want to try to do legs up the wall, you'll just scoop your bottom as close to the wall as you can and then extend your legs up the wall just to allow for some resetting of the circulatory system and just allowing for some more relaxation before bed. So find a shape that feels good to you. It's gonna look different for all of us. And once you get there, just close your eyes, bring some awareness to your face and see where you can soften any muscles or tension there.
Can you relax your jaw and remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth? And then roll your shoulders down your back. And find a shape that you can just fully rest in for a few moments. Enjoy these few moments of rest.
Shavasana is here for you as long as you need. You're in your own space, and if you have found that you'd like to rest longer before you end up going to bed, please tune out the sound of my voice. So if you would like to start bringing some awareness back to your body, you can slowly just wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then just make your way to either side for a brief stop in fetal pose. Closing your eyes, just envisioning everything behind you that you've let go during the last 60 minutes of class. And then slowly make your way to a comfortable seated position on your mat. Bring your hands to heart center and softly close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And a full open mouth, sigh out, let something go. Breathe in something wonderful, something great that you still need. And let go of something that you don't. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I hope you all sleep well. Thank you so much. Namaste.